everyone and welcome. My name is Ketchup, joined as always by my brother Mustard. I'd like to welcome you all to the final round, our show that we do alongside the PS4 Tournament's MK11 Open Series, where we gather players, we talk about the game, we cover tech, tips, tricks, and all the good stuff that you're probably familiar with by now. Today's show promises to be a good one.
Yes, as we're going to be picking the brain of Nivek, one of our longest standing competitive players in the NetherRealm community overall. He's been with us for just under a decade through various competitions in all sorts of NetherRealm games. I think he has competed in literally every game that we've seen as a community, MK9 onwards, and due to his recent success in the Open Series, today is all about Nivek. We're going to be talking to him about the newly changed Mortalkombat 11 as Ultimate is out with new characters, new balance patch, new custom variations, a very different experience altogether, and it should be quite an enjoyable conversation.
So, joining us right now is the one and only Nivek. How's it going, bro?
Pretty good, really good. How are you guys? Good to see you, Jake and Ryan.
Nivek and us, we go way back, during the days of Mortal Kombat 9, almost 10 years ago at this point, which makes, I think, all of us feel pretty old, to be honest. So I guess the first obvious question is, Ultimate, what do you think of the characters and what is your favorite element to play with now competitively?
I'm gonna start from the beginning. When I heard about the Ultimate and that we're gonna bring customs into the competitive play, I was like, I don't like it. I thought in the beginning that everybody more or less is gonna be broken. But thank God it's not the case. That's not the case. The element I like the most is that now we have unlimited variations. It gives us a bit more freedom, but at the same time, we don't. We have everything, but because we can choose the most powerful stuff, it doesn't give us the pleasure to try another variation. So that was my first thoughts about the whole MK Ultimate.
On this topic of having a lot of creativity, but maybe seeing characters go to specific variations in time where even though the creativity is possible, we might see a small handful of variations. Is that what you see yourself doing with Jacqui particularly? Do you see yourself changing away from it, or what would you think would dictate those circumstances?
I want to change into something that has more variety. I tried everything and I am addicted to lips. I can admit that I'm addicted. I want to jump all the time. And what can you ask more than upgraded plus next gen? I mean, having a projectile on your good variation, it's the best you can ask. So I tried to experience some other stuff, the cleans, for example, for extra damage, some KBs here and there, but it didn't work out. Maybe in the future, if I see characters that pressure upgraded way more than it was before, probably I will go and experience some new variations, but at least for the beginning, I believe like everybody else goes for the standard high best variation for their character.
Do you see yourself ever changing away from Jacqui? Do you think the nerfs have been a big deal, or how have you been able to play around them? What are you feeling with your character choice right now moving into future competition?
When I saw all those nerfs, I was not discouraged to pick her again. The only thing that made me think about twice about Jacqui was the lip, because I use a lot of lip. So I had to mix it up even more. I try to play defensively and safe most of the time, so taking out the ground pound was no brainer. And the projectile is good for certain matchups, but most of the time is only for the dot damage. It's not specifically for having a projectile, because it's slow, it doesn't have good recovery, etc, etc. I'm gonna stick with Jacqui right now because she's my main character for almost a year now.
You have always been an offline competitor. So with this current wave of having to play online, because the way the world is right now, everyone has moved on to online leagues, which, everyone's staying safe and doing the right thing. But it's something that players that are more offline focused have had to get used to. Now, you, as a truly offline competitor, what has that transition been for yourself?
I did want to avoid it, but I had no other choice. So I played as much as I could. I've got frustrated a lot. The transmission from offline to exclusive online, it was really, really hard for me. Right now, I'm way cooler with that. I can still get frustrated by staggers that are not real, by mix-ups that are possible, and the lag messes me up and stuff like that. But more or less, I accepted everything, and I'm rolling and adapting with what we have right now.
Strings are working. With punish. Nose flet's going to challenge for some of the poke. That's the crushing blow. I mean, this has got to be one of our most dominant grand finals that we've ever had. It always tends to be, and the wake up buttons are working. Nivek is just swinging. That's the ground pound, and I can't believe I'm saying it already, to be honest. The tournament is over. Nivek is going to win his first ever Open Series. What do you think really was tied to that, for the biggest change, that now was the time we saw you get that first win all these months later? Was it a change in your approach, or was it just it's something that would eventually happen with the way you were playing?
I'm just gonna say one sentence: hard work. There is nothing else that made me succeed on the online than hard work. I was surprised when people came to me and were telling me, "You got this, bro. It's gonna be easy. It's online. You're a world finalist. You can do it easily. This is gonna be for you. It's gonna be nothing." I was like, wait. I haven't touched online for many years. I had to adapt to so many styles, to so many different connections, because I have a different connection with a Greek guy, with a Turkish guy, a French guy, a Russian guy. It's such a change of reaction, but game style as well. I have to say I worked really hard to achieve that adaptation right now. That's what you gotta do, work hard.
You've been a world finalist in MK11, you were a final combat, you won intercontinental finals by defeating Foxy Grandpa. You've been Pro League finals for MKX. You've been, if there is a high accolade to earn in NetherRealm, you've probably achieved it at some point. And that's consistency. What do you do as a competitive player to roll with the punches and stay on top of your game when the game changes in such a dramatic way?
In NRS, it's very known that the patches are gonna come sooner or later. It's gonna be on the way, we know that. And especially if something is very, very strong, it's gonna get nerfed. I realize in the end of MKX Injustice 2, somewhere in that area, that I have to use more than one character. Right now, I'm using many characters, I'm exploring different game styles. I'm trying as many things as I can, because you can't do otherwise. All the top players use more than one character. They may have their favorite character, but they use more characters for counter picks. So even though I used to be a character loyalist, now I have to use more. I don't feel bad about it, even though many people hate me for that. I'm like, what can I do? I have to play competitively. I have to use whatever I have. I'm sorry, haters. I want to play Jacqui.
So there's so much to constantly go over with this discussion that we've had alone, but one thing that's always been prominent, and if anyone's ever seen you play offline, you are extremely proud of the fact that you do kind of champion the Greek fighting game community. You have often been known to have the Greek flag around your neck, in tournaments. Are there any notable players in the current wave of MK11 that you could consider up-and-coming Greek talent? Like, what's the development of the scene looking like over there, especially online?
I've met so many great players. I've known the Greek community more now, because that was part of the experience of online for me. I can't tell anyone specific about being a new upcoming star, etc. But you can't have someone being at the world finals without having a great scene behind you. New guys coming to the scene, some unknown players coming up, giving us some characters that we've never seen before, giving us some game styles we've never seen before. So even now, I think I'm evolving. I believe that creating a new, bigger community is good and healthy for our country.
We know that the new characters have now hit the scene, Rambo, Rain, and Melina. From personal experience, Nivek, if you had to rank from third, second, and first, what would your kind of like KP2 tier list be?
Alright, guys, don't quote me on that. So, Melina is gonna be third. In second place, I would put Rain. So first place for me is Rambo right now. Even though he has lots of gaps on his strings, he has some unsafe stuff. He has some mix-ups here and there, but not with great reward. He has some variation moves that are so sweet, so beautiful. I mean,
Claymore.
Yes, Claymore. Oh my god, this is gonna be broken.
An unblockable thing that you can put on the floor. I don't know what you're talking about.
Pro tip: put Claymore with roll.
Oh no! Don't
Works
say
like
that.
heaven.
Don't give the people ideas, Nivek. Don't do that.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it away. I don't care. Nerf it. Who cares?
Secret techniques no longer secret.
Roll into the amplifier, so you have like the is it +1 on block overhead? Knocks them into the Claymore.
Yeah.
Oh,
Unblockable launcher. Good to go.
I'm very excited and nervous to see top level Rambo, and no doubt I'm sure we'll end up seeing it in the open series. It could be quite soon because we have some weeks left to go. Now, in the form of shoutouts, anyone or anything you might want to give thanks to or shoutouts to. I know you're a prominent streamer at this point. You like to make your own content, and is there anyone or anything you'd like to thank before we wrap up?
Shout out, of course, to you guys. Thank you for having me here. It was a pleasure.
Pleasure.
Shout out to everyone behind the scenes, working everything, and giving us that great show we all enjoy every week. I would like to thank my team, Team Fadasma. Thank you very much for everything. They host my videos as well. That I'm doing competitive breakdown for the Greek guys, so we can level up all together. Of course, the Greek community, my family, and everyone who supports me.
Wonderful. And that's definitely a nice little wrap up right there. I'd like to thank you for your time. I'd like to thank you, lovely people at home, for watching the show. And if you want to get involved in competitive MK11 Ultimate action, go to compete.playstation.com. There's still time to compete and show us what you're made of, and we'd love to see you in action. My name's been Ketchup, joined by Mustard and Nivek today. This has been the final round for the PS4 Tournament's MK11 Open Series. Much love, stay safe, and take care.
Even now, I'm thinking, I think I'm evolving. Wait, that was such a hard word for me.
Nivek, when are you going to play your PlayStation 5?
As soon as possible, of course. And healthy for our country.
Excellent.
That sounded like a politician.
Hey man, I'd vote.
Yes. I made it into bloopers.
PlayStation